Dr. Joe here. So in the video where I talked about the new standard in terms of the number of steps required for us to reduce our risk of developing chronic diseases and also to reverse the chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, or even dementia, I mentioned the fact that the research is now saying that 7,000 steps a day is the new standard. And I also said, well, the bar had been lowered from the initial 10,000 steps that we thought was needed to the 7,000 steps a day. And by implication, I talked about the fact that 7,000 steps a day was now an easier task for us to conquer. Now, what I also realized later on was that, well, not everybody is on the same level as far as physical fitness is concerned. So there are some of my subscribers, people like Ray Pascali, Sharat Sharma, Christine Bogati, and those in my coaching group like Cindy, Rosie, Ruth, Mary. For them, 7,000 steps a day is not a problem, okay? They will conquer that very easily. But I also do realize that for quite a number of you guys, well, the 7,000 steps a day is a mammoth task. I had to acknowledge that. Hence, I decided to do this very video to break it down for you guys, okay? The people for whom 7,000 steps a day is a mammoth task, this video is for you. And how do you get there? Well, is by forming the habit of actually walking 7,000 steps a day. So how do you form the habit? We've got 7 steps to talk about, okay? 7 of them. So the first one, let's get right into it. The first one that I've said here, do not rely on motivation. Motivation is like a muscle. If you use a muscle for exercise, what's going to happen? It will tire out over time. And then the muscle has to rest, recover before you can use it again. So the same thing applies to motivation. And that very feature, that characteristic is described as motivational wave. It goes up and then it comes down and then it goes up and then it comes down and it goes up again. So we don't want that, okay? Because we're looking for consistency. We don't want this up, down business, okay? And if you rely on motivation, it's going to knock you back, okay? It's going to knock you back. That's why you don't want to rely on it at all. Don't. So that is step 1. Step 2. Do it because you want to, okay? Do it because you want to. And for you to actually want to do it, you need a why, okay? You need a why. You have to have a why. Your why could be anything. You may want to reverse your high blood pressure. You may want to reverse your type 2 diabetes. Anything. You may want to prevent dementia as you get older. So you need a why. The why is what's going to drive you to do the 7,000 steps a day or even more. Okay? So that's step 2. Let's move on to step 3. In step 3, what I have said here, start small. Okay? You need to start small. Break it down to small chunks. And I've got an example here that is referencing the 7,000 steps a day. So how are we going to get started with that? You want to start by doing just 500 steps a day for 2 weeks. 500 steps a day. That's all that you need to do for 2 weeks. So do that first of all. And then after 2 weeks, you step it up to 500 steps twice a day. 500 steps twice a day. 500 in the morning and then another 500 in the evening. And you're going to do that for a month. Do that for a month. 500 in the morning and 500 steps in the evening, that equates to 1,000 steps a day. It's a good start. We're not rushing, okay? We got time. So, after that first 6 weeks, because you're going to do 500 a day for 2 weeks and then 500 twice a day for a month. After that, we are going to step it up now to increments of 1,000 steps monthly, okay? So from the 1,000 a day, we are now going to push it to 2,000 steps a day. I'm going to do that for a month. No rush. Don't rush it, please. Okay? And from 2,000, we move on to 3,000. And then we just keep going up incrementally until we hit the 7,000 steps. And then of course, if we're loving it, we can keep going on until we hit 10,000 or even 12 or even 15 a day. Okay? So that is how you conquer that. Step 4, make it easy on yourself. You want to make it easy on yourself. And what I've put here, no gym. You don't need the gym in the beginning. You may later on, but in the beginning, you don't need the gym. Why is that? Well, going to the gym requires steps. You come back from work, you may be tired. You have to change off out of your work clothes and then put on your gym garments. Those are steps. You got to put on your shoes. You got to pick up the keys and get into the car and drive to the gym. Okay? Those are steps that will trip you or potentially could trip you. We don't want that. We want to keep it really simple. Make it easy on yourself. No gym. So what should you do instead? Go around the block. Just go round the block. That's all you need to do to get your initial 500 steps a day, and then the 500 twice a day, and then the 1,000 increments monthly. Go around the block or walk in the house. You can walk in the house. From the living room to the dining room into the kitchen, like I'm in the kitchen now. Go back again, just do that in a circular motion. Your partner may think you're going loopy. They might think you're going crazy, but reassure them that you are not, okay? Because it will look funny that you're doing that. So, you can go around the block or walk in the house. Now, when you have a bit of money, get a treadmill. Get a treadmill. I got one in the house. It's part of the reason why I bought it. Okay? Get a treadmill. So, those are the first 4 steps. Let's move on to the other 3 because there are 7. In step 5, it might look like I'm being negative. It might sound like a downer, but I'm not. I'm being realistic. And what is it? It is that you should expect failure. Okay? Expect failure. That is life. Failure is part and parcel of life, okay? Things will happen in life to throw you off track. But guess what? We've got a plan. And this is the plan. It's a new thing, okay? This is a new principle. It's called WOOP, okay? WOOP principle. W-O-O-P, WOOP. W stands for wish. The O, first O stands for outcome. The next O stands for obstacles, and P is for planning, okay, WOOP. That's what we're going to use to conquer failure when it comes our way. So, the first thing, we have to have a wish. That is the W, okay? What is our wish? Our wish is to do 7K steps a day, 7,000 steps a day. That is our wish. Next, what's the expected outcome of what we're trying to achieve here with the 7K steps a day? We want to reverse chronic diseases or prevent them, okay? So things like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and also we will lose fat when we do 7,000 steps a day. So that is the expected outcome. There are more. I just wanted to mention those 3 for a start, okay? So, what's the other O? Obstacles. We are going to have obstacles. That is what I was saying about expect failure, okay? Obstacles. So, I just got a couple of examples here. Rain. If you're walking around the block, it might start raining and you might not be prepared for that, okay? That is an expected obstacle. The grandchildren, okay, grandkids, I've said here. So if you've got grandchildren, they're going to pop in every now and again. So when the grandchildren are in the house, when they come visiting, what are you going to do to still do your 7,000 steps a day? That is the point of this, okay? You've got to, well, we'll come to that shortly. The next thing that I talked about is something like traffic jam. You're coming back from work, there's a lot of traffic on the road, and you get home later than you normally would. What are you going to do? Okay, what are you going to do? It could be that you're just working late. what are you going to do in those circumstances? And that's where the P comes in. Planning. Planning. What are you going to do when it rains? What are you going to do when the grandkids are here? What are you going to do if you get back late because there was traffic jam? So, with planning, it's called if, then, what. If this happens, what am I going to do? Okay? If it rains, what am I going to do? If the grandchildren are here, what am I going to do? Similar thing. Okay? That is the WOOP principle. So please, do expect failure. Okay? There will be obstacles. That is part and parcel of life. So that is step 6. And I love this actually. This is new. Okay? This is new in terms of personal development. So let's move on to the next step, step 6. In step 6, I have said here, have a cue. You need a cue to get you going. You need a cue. So I've got some examples here. Brushing your teeth either in the morning or evening, okay? That's your cue. Once you're brushing, you're thinking, now I need to go walking. Okay? So that is a cue. These are just examples. A TV program is going to be a regular TV program, like news at 6 o'clock. When the news comes on, okay, it's time for you to leave the house and go walking or step on the treadmill if you got one in the house. News at 6. Any regular TV program, it could be a soap, okay? It could be a soap opera. Any, okay, but it's got to be one that runs every day because that's your cue to go moving. All right? What's another example I got here? After taking either a supplement or medication, if you have a specific time that you take your supplement or medication, that's your cue to go get your steps in. Okay? So, have a cue. This is what's going to actually lead to consistency, which that brings us to step 7, by the way. Consistency. Okay? Consistency is step 7. Once you have a cue, that means you're going to be consistent. A TV program like News at 6 will make you go walking every day. Okay? You're going to brush your teeth every day. That's going to lead to consistency. So 6 leads to 7. Okay? So, once you have your cue, you are going to be consistent. And guess what? If you're consistent, what is the net result? You have just formed a habit. Yay! Okay? That is how you form a habit. Okay, these are the 7 steps that will enable you to form a habit. So, I know this is probably outside of what I normally talk about, but I have to do this. This is about personal growth and personal development. And it is important because you can apply all of these principles that I've talked about here, these steps, to any habits that you want to form. Do this and you will be successful. I have done it. That is why going walking, doing my 15,000 steps a day is not a problem for me, because it has become a habit for me. So the upshot of what I'm trying to say here is that for you to do your 7,000 steps a day, okay, for you to reverse your chronic diseases or to reduce your risk of developing them, you have to form a habit. And this is how you form the habit. Okay, so I'm hoping that you got some value from this very video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please like the video and also please share this video with your friends, family and colleagues. Give it to them, let them see it, because it's about forming habits. We want to form healthy habits. For those of you who are new to my channel, or those who have been with me and don't have a habit yet, please adopt all of this, okay? What else was I going to say? Well, any comments, questions, leave them down below. That's it for this very video. I enjoyed it, I have to say. Until next time, well, this is Dr. Joe signing out.